I'm back to more MDL action here at the Beyond the Summit Studios. The sun is starting to come out. We don't know because we're still inside watching awesome Chinese Dota. And it's an epic event. We're going to be moving on into the lower bracket semifinal, I guess you could call it. Newbee versus OG, another elimination matchup. I'm back, of course, with Gods and Jack. And gentlemen, we have a draft. So let's just get that thing up on the screen so everyone can enjoy some Dota.
That's right. So these teams met during the group stage. The last time they met, actually, before that, at Manila Masters, Newbee actually took Visage very early on. I think Faith played it. So given how much OG has used Visage, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a key point early on in the draft for these two teams. You see they banned Jirax's Earth Spirit as well as the Bristleback, which OG also picked up very early on. So we'll have to see if they go for this kind of traditional, like fours being picked up earlier, if they start getting some of these more staple heroes off the table. I wouldn't be surprised also if Newbee goes for the Invoker, as we have this series. The hometown Chinese team, Newbee, also known as the Army Martial Arts, as they like to say, because of SCCC, defending the country against OG.
Army Martial Arts, is that what you said?
That's right.
Why do they call that? Because he does Army Martial Arts?
Well, SCCC was in the armed forces for a little bit. Well. Okay, well, let's be more specific here. He was in the army, but there's the in China, the firefighters are not civilians.
Okay.
There isn't like here, like in the U.S. at least, it's like a civilian firefighting department. So when he was in the army, he was assigned to basically be a firefighter, and it's tough because they don't necessarily give them like the best training or equipment, and they're kind of counted on it. It's almost like they're kind of throwing bodies into like fighting fires and stuff. So maybe that's why he doesn't feel like too comfortable, happy to talk about it, because in a sense, like maybe he was considered almost disposable, or would have been. So maybe that's why he doesn't talk about it too much. But the people have embraced that. He was in the army, therefore it's the Army Martial Arts up against.
How does martial arts tie into army?
Oh, because they learned their own. They're in the army.
There's a lot of hand-to-hand combat. Okay.
Yeah, they got their own.
I guess my idea of army, like from like the U.S. Western perspective, is you use guns. For none of that hand-to-hand nonsense. The bigger the gun, the better.
All right.
We can talk about it.
I guess that's true.
If he ever comes over and decides the game in the Western scene, he should talk about it. He's like, I'm a computer gamer, but ladies, firefighter.
Yeah.
Army firefighter too, not just any firefighter.
Good.
I sent KP a text, and I was like, so you guys taking the Visage? He sent back only the sly smiley face, and there we have it early on. But wait, let's go back to what?
What? What do you mean what? Let's go. We can go. Let's go over to Parker. Parker, Visage.
Oh, dude,
now's your chance.
This is my hero. I'm so glad.
Let's go. Just we saw OG played a lot earlier. Jack already just dabbled a bit about how
Visage to Parker
both
is
these teams
to me, right?
just love the Visage there. So lay it on us, Parker.
So I'm all about the core Visage. I was so happy to see No-Tail busted out in the safe lane. I think personally a lot more about the mid Visage, but I think safe lane kind of similar thing. It's a hard hero to do a whole lot of the early levels from the mid lane, so safe lane works just fine. But this hero is incredibly tanky, durable with his passive. He benefits a lot from early levels. And that's where I feel like the core Visage is definitely a thing that has been waiting to be seen. He's got some of the best level 10 talents. He either gets a shit ton of XP or a shit ton of gold. 90 GPM at level 10 is the highest that exists in the game. I think I don't even know if there's any other heroes that get 90 GPM. There's maybe one or two. And he scales incredibly well with levels and farm. He gets Solar Crest Ags. You're just an unstoppable beast. And 5-position Visage, I think, also very good. I actually prefer 5 to 4. If you're going to play him as support, I think you may as well just sack him and play him as a 5, because he's not very active early levels like most 4-position heroes can be. So I think with Newbee, we're mostly seeing it in the hands of Faith. That's correct, Jack. Unless they're going to suddenly try something completely different, since teams have been running the core Visage. But you need a Visage player, because the hero that requires micro, that's where No-Tail with OG was running it.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if SCC's like, hey, come on, you know what? I could do it too. Give me Visage.
Yep.
Give me the mid lane. Let's see what happens. No chance of that, you don't think?
I would also be shocked. I'm almost certain this is a Faith Visage.
Yeah, no, that's like a half block pick, half common pickup for newbies. So.
And that was the first time we've seen OG like actually swap this tournament where they go back to what they used to do with Miracle, where they're swapping lanes, putting No-Tail mid and Ana in the safe lane. Miracle used to sometimes play like a safe lane anti-mage. No-Tail would play some of these unconventional mids like the Meepo, the Death Prophet even would sometimes come out. There were certain heroes that No-Tail would play mid. We never saw that look from OG until MDL. So we've seen, I think both games Ana was playing safe lane Void. Wonder if we'll see any more safe lane heroes from him, but something that does happen from time to time. We will not be seeing a No-Tail Invoker, though.
Anything you'd like to see? Do you like to see either of those more than the other, or would you like to see OG? Or do you like that OG does that? Do you think that it fits them, or do you think that it seems to be more successful when they tend to lean one way or the other?
I think the way OG swap their lanes, which is that there is a very clear mid laner and Ana, but they only swap based on certain heroes. I think that's good. What I don't like is when teams just swap, like what IGV used to do with Cicada and Paparazzi. I don't think that's good for the team, where it'll just be like Paparazzi's like, oh, I'm going to play mid Invoker this game. Then the next game it's Cicada playing mid. Like, I think there needs to be clear reasoning and logic behind it, other than just who's feeling like playing mid or who feels more confident.
Yeah.
I think it's very specific niche heroes that you can't just put Ana on Visage or Ana on Meepo if he doesn't play that hero. Whereas if it's a traditional mid hero that he should be expected to play, he should always be playing it.
Yeah. No-Tail rolls in with those fun little niche picks like you were talking about, the Meepo and such. Hell, even maybe a Brewmaster or something like that. Here, though, with the Invoker, we'll have to see how they follow it up with. I remember when the big Shadow Shaman buff came in, Fly was definitely one of the few who were vocalizing how excited he was about it. Ready to make off-laners cry, I believe he said, with that ridiculous base damage boost. So it's no surprise to see both the Shadow Shaman and the Phoenix continue to be in their Rolodex. Oh, and now the Rubik, a Jerix Rubik. You don't get to see it very often because we always get to see him play those flashy, high momentum kind of, Tusk, Earth Spirits, and stuff like that. But Rubik is got kind of that different position 4 flavor to it.
Some good spells. The Burrow Strike, of course, being one of the best ones to play against as a Rubik. I feel like Burrow Strike and Chikuchi are like two of the best spell heroes to kind of draft Rubik against, other than the big ultimates. Like, as far as non-ultimate spells goes, those are probably the two of the best.
Morphling,
The Shadow Shaman is, like what you just mentioned, Dakota. I like that point because it felt like they were picking Shadow Shaman a lot very early in drafts, before anybody else for a while, and then that kind of caught on a little bit later. He got his attack damage buffed again later on.
Yep.
But yeah, he was very much into that when that change first came about. And this is a unique support in the sense that not just with the zoning capability, obviously he has less attack range, but he can just go off and, as we've seen, just take objectives or just become like an unstoppable kind of backbone of the push. And even other supports who offer something on pushes or in tower destruction, if you're talking about a Leshrac or Pugna, they kind of have to expose themselves to do that. It feels like the Shadow Shaman kind of doesn't. It's pretty low risk. You plop the wards down and then the other team has to make a decision, and sometimes it's very hard to make the correct one. It puts a lot of pressure, and he has kind of split push potential himself too. Clears out waves and then can plop down by the tower.
Certainly so.
Is that the new Newbee jackets? What's on this jacket there?
I don't think
Looks
that's a
KP.
Newbie jacket.
Who are the dudes
like
on his jacket?
Oh,
are they commentators?
the guy on the one on the bottom left looks like one of the Newbie bosses. So it might be. I don't think it is though. I'll have to ask Damien about that later.
You're on the phone to him earlier. Call him up right now. he's not got anything. He's not drafted,
Live chat.
He's got a good 90
just,
seconds.
I'll just answer in the booth and risk disqualification or penalty. No
Yeah,
problem.
That's true. Phones in booth. That's a no-go actually.
Queen of Pain, 4th pick. We get Fistful of Tangos on the same team here. Puck, Queen of Pain, likely to be in the hand of SCCC.
A staple SCCC hero. They've had so much success with him on Queen of Pain to the point where they sometimes would pick that even earlier. Teams would routinely ban it against him. He understands the timings and rhythms of that hero really well. Like when he's in that kind of cleanup role, just adding enough damage at the right time. He seems to just play that so well, and it fits his playstyle. When they had him on a hero like Lina or some other hero that a little bit more vulnerable, or maybe countered to frontline a bit more, he seemed to struggle a bit. But you put him on Queen of Pain on TA, he's kind of like the Chinese word for it is like so good. It's kind of like he collects, he harvests what's been created by his teammates. He seems to play very well in that role. So
The offlane pool for S4 looking a bit limited here as far as Nyx, Void, Shaker all banned out. Sanking's been picked up. I feel like they definitely need control. You're versing Quap, Puck.
Axe?
Axe could be good.
Is that super bold? I mean, we
Yeah,
used to see a lot of S4 Axe, but this looks like kind of an Axe game.
It's bold, but it's kind of doable. It's very good against Visage. The Axe owns your birds, but again, you're not going to draft an offlane to counter Visage.
Ooh.
It's going to be safe lane for No-Tail.
The other thing would have been S4 Enigma we saw.
Yeah, I think that's a bit too greedy. As even more with Invoker Lone Druid, I think you don't get away with an Enigma. Hero like a Centaur. Is something he's played a bit of. But you definitely to me, you just want to Blink Initiator. Something that's going to be beefy on the front lines. He's played Tide recently. I think that's less reliable of Initiator. What was the other hero I saw that I liked? Beastmaster. I think this could actually be a good Beastmaster game. You get the attack speed aura to push with. It's a guaranteed kind of Blink Initiation. I think Beastmaster could be a really good fit.
Is something like a Bat Rider no good because there's just possibly too elusive on Newbee's side?
Oh, Bat's great. Yeah, I didn't even
S4
think it was still in the pool, you know?
Yeah, it's still there,
Yeah.
so it might be a creeper.
It could definitely be a consideration. Last ban, looking at the Mugi heroes.
Weaver, maybe? Helps
Weaver,
against the
yeah.
Lone Druid.
There's still a Terror Blade out there as
Ooh,
well.
yeah. Lifestealer against the bear is always good, and there's three really great infest bomb targets. Here that can also cause problems for Invoker once you have that blink bomb, because Invoker doesn't do well against physical burst. But you mentioned the Terror Blade. I think that's definitely a good pick, saying Newbee's done.
Alacrity Bear, too. Did you guys already mention that?
We did not.
It's been a while. Nice call for the Centaur.
Centaur?
You got move speed, you got attack speed, you got your blink initiating stun you were hoping to have. His opposing matchup involves probably some harassment from the Visage and...
Don't know what the character's going to be.
So it's hard to say whether or not his laning phase is going to be something, easy for him or not.
We'll find out in a couple of seconds here.
Ursa? I don't know. Lycan.
Oh, they're taking a page from what we just saw. That kind of scary Lycan carry. Against these melee cores, Lycan can do very well, and that's going to be the case here again.
Jack, what do you think, man? Lycan again? Huh? Is it going to be another no-wolf build-up?
He's got a lot of that potential to run amok, but the cores that he is up against, like in terms of whether we have the Stomp from the Centaur, the Savage Roar from the Lone Druid, they do have a couple of methods of disruption, as well as the Root from the Bear. So, I don't know, like it feels like the later the game goes, he might actually have a bit of trouble bursting down, whether you're talking about if it's a Centaur ult to disengage, if the Lone Druid Bear is better equipped to hit him and root him, the Savage Roar obviously as well. So I'm not sure how well this Lycan scales. I feel like it puts them on a little bit of a timer. Like I feel like they have to get a ton done early on in this game.
I'm with Jack. I don't think they're... I think if it's like a kind of even game where both teams are farming on equal terms, it favors OG, because they're going to come online in the mid game with Radiance Bear, farmed Invoker, and then have tools to kite the Lycan, to control the Puck, the Quap. They have countless stuns on their draft. So for me, Newbee need to come out strong with this lane stage. They definitely can. They've got good lane matchups. Lycan versus a melee hero. Puck may be the one to struggle a little bit, but we'll see what Kaka does on the Sand King roaming around. And they've also got Howl damage, which also kind of gives you a little bit of boost in your laning stage as well.
I kind of share the thoughts here as far as Newbee having to get a lot in the laning phase, and you said it, but I was going to also side with the fact that that could be a bit difficult for KP, and then how much attention is going to have to come out from Newbee's side to maybe assist him or not. Otherwise, we could see OG at least match on farm, which they would be happy with pushing into that mid-game period. But let's get things started already. Invoker Sunstrike to come out to give that little bit of extra information, but we are hopping into action now. It's game number 1 of this lower bracket matchup, OG going toe-to-toe against Newbee. Winner of this moves on to face up against LGD, who were just knocked down from that winner bracket matchup against LFY, losing 1-2. So OG coming off a nice win. 2-1 or was it 2-0? I can't remember now against EG earlier today.
It was 2-1.
2-1. So
It's a pretty similar theme in some of the games. Like the laning phase went pretty well for EG. I think EG's always had a very high emphasis on that, but ultimately when it came to like the team fights, I think both in terms of hero composition, maybe items, like OG was able to claw their way back into those games through that. And so Newbee, I feel like have kind of a similar approach, at least this game in the draft. Like they like to snowball out of lanes and be able to take over games quickly. So
both teams smoking here. Sorry to interrupt you, but we'll see some early aggression.
SCCC is able to get down his own personal mid lane ward with the benefit of that smoke, while down below they may have caught in a peep and no tail nearby. They are able to successfully bully him out from the bounty rune, but it looks like OG are going to be doing the same, but they're successful on getting a grab. This one onto the Lycan with a telekinesis, with a shackle, and with a stomp. S4 will also grab up the bounty rune right under his nose and claim first blood.
Bottom lane, they want the Spirit Breaker actually getting very low. No-Tail may be in trouble himself. There's another Burrow Strike, and
oh goodness. You take a little, so will we. The orb, oh nice sidestep, but it doesn't matter. He jukes himself into the right clicks. It's not going to be the first blood bonus, but Newbee are able to at least get the kill.
Yeah. Lycan actually TP's bottom on respawn, recognizing that this aggro lane is going to be very tough to deal with. It's not just going to be an off-lane Centaur, it's a tri-lane with Centaur, which is actually quite powerful. Centaur doesn't need as much XP. He's quite happy to have some friends in the neighborhood.
Well, Jarex has already floated his way through that mid lane, and as he heads down to the bottom, he actually crosses paths with both supports. Kaka just burrows himself in, eating so much damage, he will end up going down. Ana's able to creep in that last ridiculous right hit in. Oh, I mean, it was just, I guess, convenience of Jarex to walk through what was going to be a gank. Yep. And, oh, we see KP go down. We catch none of it. It was top lane.
Like how you started there.
I thought it was bottom. My brain was scrambling from him because I thought he was bottom being off lane, but they switched lanes, and now we're going back to mid lane because they don't want to stop fighting, boys. Here we go. Faith in trouble now. Hit with a cold snap, and boom, it's going to be Fly who picks up the last hit. Comes in for the KS. All right, my God.
You don't really want to be fighting with the Visage this much early. It's a zero armor hero. I think that's something we're kind of seeing really get punished by OG. Jarex is in the right place. That's 2 telekinesis in a row where he's thrown a hero into this mid tower. The Sand King tanked like 4 hits. The Visage only tanked maybe 1 or 2, but that's still a lot of damage and set up some very easy kills on the Newbee supports who just seem to be playing a little bit too aggressive. I feel like they need to focus a bit more on just securing these lanes first before they go all in on these ganks, but hey, they're not done. They're smoking. They're all in on the early game ganks.
Yeah, my God, guys. Okay, 1 minute, like 5 kills in just a little over 1 minute. Yeah. This is nothing like our previous series, and
they needed something to go a little bit. They needed that soul assumption on that Visage. I feel if you're gonna like be fighting and trying to trade out this damage early, you need that soul assumption badly.
He's got it now.
More smokes everywhere. OG now smoking up. They're looking at mid lane. An opportunity to make a go onto SCCC. It's Fly creeping in, but look who's coming in from behind. It's Jarex. He gets the telekinesis, and he throws him right into the arms of Fly. And the Sunstrike is just there as a glorious tombstone. But Faith and company are, well, we're here now. We're going to try to make something out of it. They do manage to get the takedown of Ana, but Faith will lose his own life for it. It's a bloodbath in this mid lane.
It's not done.
No, it's not. Burrow on the Fly. And then with SCCC making his return, he does the Shatter Strike on the Fly. Fly should end up going down here. Can they get the deny?
Yeah, he's denied. Oh, Fly's like, Anna, come back.
Anna's like, I want to go over there and get SCCC, though.
He sees the Sunstrike opportunity.
Oh, my God. 7-2 already.
This is bloodbath of an early game.
Yeah, it really is.
Who's not fighting? Bottom lane. How's life in bottom lane?
I don't want to look down there. I'm going to miss something in mid lane.
That's true. This is like the peaceful zone. Faith has come down here. He's like, all right, this lane's a bit too quiet.
What's S4 doing? He's got 12 denies on a Centaur up in his top lane. What is going on? He is really taking it to KP at the moment. KP is still able to creep in some good CS, but S4 is certainly making him work for the XP. Yep. Bottom lane, shift over in some contention for the pull camp, but things may have finally subsided a little bit here.
Looks that way, I say, as Sand King attempts a gank on mid.
Yeah, chests are being flexed, and it seems like they'll keep going at it here. No. This time Kaka actually will not pull the trigger. The last couple of ganks, like I feel like the newbie supports are. I was like, oh, surely they'll just pull off now, but they have been pretty brash about moving in and committing in for these rotations.
Yeah.
It's a nice gank from OG onto the Quap as well, because usually you don't expect to be roamed on as the Queen of Pain. It's but the Shackle, of course, with the lift, and they managed to get that kill. And that was definitely a huge surprise to Newbee, because they're rotating around for their own gank, but suddenly like, oh, our mid is dead. Oh, what happens now?
Yeah, they're like, well, I guess we run in and get the return kill. I mean, Visage knows that he's probably going to die to get the kill, but it's definitely worth trading your life for that of the Invokers. See how things go from here. S4 almost with a hood already. This early hood is going to allow him to just crush this lane.
Just so much movement happening in this game between the supports of both sides. It's really ridiculous. You know, Jarek's moving and snagging a bounty, and now he moves on back. As Kaka had moved to grab their bounty, now he finds himself in a bit of trouble hiding out in that mid lane. While that happens, it's KP who goes down to Ana also, setting up a Sunstrike in the top lane.
While killing mid?
What?
Ana?
How many monitors is this guy playing with?
He's got the scripts for sure. Didn't they just have a VAC-ban wave? I don't know what's going on. That's crazy.
S4's got the Sunstrike hotkey on his keyboard as the
we were watching Ana get that kill in the mid lane setup, and
but he was not.
S4, that's
was
the
not.
thing. And it's probably like, I gotta kill mid. I was watching top for a Sunstrike.
I would love to go back and check his player perspective on that moment for sure. As 4 happens to creep into a bit of trouble here. Kaka sets it up with the stun, and now Mugi with the right clicks. Faith is there with the soul assumption. It's a cool looking 3-man stun, but can't walk out from the trouble.
Dicey.
All right, so on and now 3-1 and 4. 4 participating kills already. Just about 6 minutes into an Invoker game, building towards that Midas get up. Yeah. KP is rotated himself back to the bottom lane now.
This is the bottom lane's the peaceful place.
Yeah.
You know, this lone Druid and Lycan have just been sitting there farming. Neither has been involved in any kills. I think Mugi's got 3 assists just from using Howl, I guess.
Well, I'm not going to look down there very long, Gods, because look at mid lane again. It's where
yeah.
the rumble is happening, and they're making the move on for Ana. Fly is trying to help him out, getting a good Shackle play in, but SCC tries to come in, and they got the insta-hex, but he's still able to get off the right click. Ice Wall is dropped as he is taken down. Jarek still gets some help as Forsh from the Global participates with the Stampede. Kaka barely able to live. They're able to get the turnaround takedown of Fly. Newbee managed to get the better trade for once.
I think S4 maybe just wasn't called to use that ultimate early. Perhaps could have saved the Invoker if he did throw that Stampede out maybe 5 seconds earlier, but the call was not made from the team to use that. And Ana does go down. Despite all the kills next in this mid lane, it does still remain a slightly Invoker-favored lane. All 3 lanes seem to be going quite well for OG. I mean, this lone Druid's just being able to just sit there, farm, uncontested for the most part. This is a happy lane for No-Tail, despite that very early level 1 death.
But we still have activity here. Newbee are continuing to move in aggressively here. We've had Kaka and Jarex dancing around in the woods, and reinforcements have been summoned. I guess you can call it a bit of space created, though, by Jarex. Continuing farm from the lone Druid, space for Invoker, and top lane, of course, still going at it, but Newbee happy to get the pick.
I think for OG, you want to maintain a lookout for pickoffs where possible, because this global Sunstrike is such a good tool. Like an Entangle from a lone Druid, a Centaur stun. There's so many ways for them to set out Sunstrikes.
All right, No-Tail's trying to run on in. Burrows set up Sonic Wave right on top, and with the orb stepping in, they just evaporate the 2 of them.
Top lane, meanwhile.
Yep, jump on in. Hex, Shackle, combo. And now the hit. There's the nuke. There's the Sunstrike. Stampede, he's trying to chase down that wolf, but that wolf is so damn fast.
650.
Damn, and look at him just
50 on the wolf.
Running back at him a bit. He's got the salve. He's feeling good. Mugi has made it away.
I love that S4 Chase is like, maybe he'll decide to stop running. Just maybe he'll
click the mini map and turn back for a second. I like this EG draft. This OG draft rather, not EG. I feel like they've almost taken a page out of the Liquid playbook, Liquid a team that has consistently had success against Newbee, where they have these very difficult to gank lanes. So as we see this Sunstrike top is going to claim Moogie's life.
Hoof stomp too.
Yep, nice hit. Hoof stomp's there. They're looking to commit hard. He gets the double edge. One more right click.
TP out in 5 mana, S4. Oh,
They're
Birds will get him.
limping.
Oh, it's the double kill for Vicious, the dream.
Yes, yes. One goes down, and you too, my precious. Double kill for
That feels
Faith.
so good. That's like dream scenario for Faith. He's
Something-
suddenly stacked.
That's like a 3-man like poison Nova right there. That's this type of feeling.
I
that you
think
got.
something else had happened in that fight too. KP was trying to teleport in, but maybe a root had canceled it. He was trying to roll in with a coil. That could have been pretty nice too.
Savage
but-
Roar was on cooldown, so probably
Oh yeah, that
probably
might
the
have been it.
Roar.
Yeah, I just noticed he got silenced or something.
Yep.
Suddenly couldn't show up. So good move by No Tail, but as we saw, still Faith benefits a lot from the trade at the end of the day.
With the Lone Druid and Centaur, like there's the natural setup for the Invoker. There's a bit of a liquid feel to it. Let's say they have an Earthshake or something instead, but it's also hard to gank these lanes. So. Like because of the heroes, because of the Lone Druid. So it feels like the way OG's lineup is, Newbee has to commit very heavily if they want to get kills in these lanes. We're seeing like they have to rotate 3 heroes sometimes plus the mid, the 4th hero to get there. And so that allows the other heroes to kind of pressure the towers and the lanes. That allows them to keep good track of where Newbee is and allows them to also counter gank and keep the experience down. Like if this Queen of Pain is moving around ganking, she's not spending as much time farming the mid or trying to pressure Invoker, which ensures a good start for Ana. So I kind of like the draft concept here from OG. It feels very Liquid-like.
Well, with this mid lane almost level 6 Shadow Shaman, they may be trying to take this. Oh, they're going to get the tier 1. Jarex is left there alone to get the last hit. Perhaps thinking it was too dangerous for the Invoker to take. Still Scream of Pain as well. Not a bad snag considering the damage output available for this Rubik.
For a while there, Newbee were kind of stationed towards the top lane. I don't know if they were planning on positioning themselves to get a gank on S4, but while he has Stampede, that's not an easy pick at all. So, you know, maybe some time wasted there by him, but we'll have to see where the next opportunities are going to be. I mean, Faith does have the birds, as we know, online now, and already has actually a nice little medallion picked up. So, I don't know.
I think they're being hit hard by the fact they used all those smokes early on. It was at least 2 or 3 smokes in that first 10 minutes, and the result is they don't have smokes now for this mid-game stage, and without Blink Daggers, the only way you gank with Sand King Puck is really with smokes. Theoretically, KP could set up a coil with a rotation bottom, which looks to be the play. He has coil, his teammates are smoking towards him. They need to start finding some kills.
Jarek steals the orb, starts throwing it into action, but we have a rotation coming in. SCCC shows up. Coil also going to get popped by KP. Orb on forward, and they get the takedown of No Tail. No Sonic Wave even committed for this one. And Kaka going to get dropped at the same time top lane. It looks like S4 is able to get the jump on that.
Have the Sunstrike support. Lines being drawn, push out mid, push out top. They are all in that bottom lane, and for Newbee, every time they find a kill, they really need to take objectives. They've got this lineup that doesn't want to scale too much into the late game. The Lycan's already behind. He needs that tower gold. They can push fairly effectively. This Howl on the Familiars gives them a nice little bit of extra damage output. And we do see the push in action there.
Mid lane, Ana squaring up against SCCC. He does manage to go to the Ghost Walk. Sonic Wave's there. The poison finishes them off.
Good play from KP and SCC.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, SCC like that one.
Ally side BM, I love it. Wait till he sees that on the replay. 12 to 12 evened up. The net worth also close. Does it feel that way too, do you think? We're like pretty even at 13 minutes into this game.
I was going to say what they can't capture on this audio is that apparently SCCC will sometimes sing things are going real well or to encourage his teammates. So
Oh, really?
if only they could record that and put it in voice chat form, please.
Any particular style? Is he screaming out death metal? Is it, you know, is it Katy Perry? Is it Taylor Swift?
It's not death metal, but it'll be some like sometimes I think it'll be like one of those like patriotic like Chinese songs or folk songs. It'll be something like kind of like a joke and poking fun at himself, but
Must
it's
be some
definitely
sort of army firefighter song,
yeah,
I guess.
that too.
OG have smoked up. They are waltzing around a bit because Mr. Gustaf has a Blink Dagger now, and he's hoping to make a strong debut with it, possibly here in the bottom lane. But there is no easy target to be found. Moogie is hiding currently under his tier 2.
He tucks himself in pretty deep. not even wanting to farm that creep right by the tier 2. There's some good map awareness coming out.
Wise decision, because they're all waiting for him.
Yeah, that was his deathbed if he went for that creep. But I think Newbee recognized something's amiss. They group up, they go for a smoke, they want to be the aggressor. They just got this Mask of Madness on Lycan, so they're actually a lot more powerful in the fight. His single target burst damage is going to get amped up quite a bit. Question is, will they catch anyone? The TPing OG look to be wary that this is not a good place to be.
Yeah. They took kind of a long road around, which was probably the smarter play, but look who's still hanging around the mid lane. Ana. Look who hangs out just behind him. Surprise! It's the Silence, Coil, Shapeshift. There's the Ghost Walk, but they do have the Sentry, and they won't be able to take him down. Good quick snipe there by Newbee. Their smoke successful, and they'll get a +1 out of it, taking down the mid-tier 1.
Very nice little play. The Radiant Center, there wasn't even a dire ward there. It was a bit further to the east, but so that was kind of a bit of guesswork as to where the Invoker was positioned. Nice kind of blind orb from KP, but still a fairly even game. I personally felt like an even farming game was definitely favorable for OG, and they really hit their timing with the Radiance plus like the maybe Ags, Boots of Travel, Midas, Invoker. Like Invoker is just a hero that it's not like one set item, but it's items. You need like 2-3 big items, a lot of levels, and you get strong. So I feel like Newbee still need to do more here in this kind of mid game to pressure OG before Radiance comes online.
So OG still have plenty of options to be able to work with here. Fly's got his wards up and ready to go. They still have plenty of fight potential as long as S4 now has his Blink Dagger here and they have Sunstrikes on the map. Let's see if OG want to continue to make fights happen here. Their last smoke movement towards this bottom lane, not successful, but drawn out a new game plan here to head towards KP's neck of the woods. I don't know how long he plans on hanging around, but Newbee are taking this opportunity to just kind of farm through their side of the map.
Yep. He's got a Blink Dagger on KP, but I don't think he really wants to show himself too much.
Oh. Go for it, S4. Random back blinks done. Guess he'll figure he'll leave. Top lane, Ana. Looks like he walks away from what could have been potential trouble. But they also could be waiting out. The Radiance is slowly being thrown together here from No-Tail. I say slowly, but you know it's coming in decent time.
I really like this from KP because Newbee do not really want to have to defend this bottom lane. They'd rather kind of position themselves around the mid lane, their jungle, top lane, and KP is just basically this is creep skipping. He's not really trying to go for kills. He's not trying to set anything up. He's just creep skipping wave after wave. He's changing position, making it hard for OG to find him. And he's just taken out 3 creep waves in a row from OG, who are looking to actually maybe push this bottom lane, but can't do so. Another creep wave.
Stampede. He blinks up.
TP out.
Fly. Can you see him? Oh, not in time.
Looking.
But look at this. At that moment, Newbee begin to creep themselves inside the Roche Pit.
That's space from KP saying that up. Unfortunately, KP didn't TP like maybe to a shrine. It's going to take longer to get back to this Roche Pit. And yeah, they have to stop. They need to wait for KP before they really fully commit to this, it feels like.
Newbee will back off for a bit.
Yeah. There's still no Stampede for this fight. This feels like a decent position for Newbee to be in. Pre-Radiance, Stampede down.
Yeah, for sure.
Can try and look to force things.
Look at the supports. They're getting leveled up. Faith's 10, so he's got that talent. Oh, a move is in. The coil's down. It's all for Fly. OG Captain going to be out for this possible Roche contention. Will OG still try to pull out a defense? It's only 20 seconds for the little Rasta man. I think this is not going to be fast enough for Newbee's liking.
Yeah, they're going to try just reposition, wait for another pick, and they
found it. A move on for Ana this time on the high ground. A Sonic Wave will seal the deal. And this ward paying off big value, the one hidden behind.
Yeah, OG going to recognize their folly and trying to actually contest this Roche. They probably definitely, maybe not saying it now, but after this game, we'll be like, hey, we could have spent this minute of time farming and finishing the Radiance. Instead, No-Tail was just sitting on that high ground at the shrine, thinking there's going to be a Roche contest, and it's just a pick. Newbee just play a pickup game. They pick one, they go back to Roche, they realize they can't, they pick another. And now they're looking for follow-up kills, or they jerks TPs out, but there was a lot of wasted time specifically for this lone druid who needs items right now.
Newbee are close to getting a Blink Dagger on Kaka, and when they have that, they have more initiation options outside of just KP here too, so they can kind of keep the aggression up. And if he gets it before this Radiance is done and they're able to hunt down No-Tail, this could be very crippling for OG. But they're looking to turn their momentum around now. They have smoked up and began to creep their way through this mid lane. We'll just have to see if they can manage to come across anybody.
Well, Jack, you mentioned the SCC singing. He's doing his best to sing through the chat wheel, and KP is joining in. You know, they've got a nice little duet going of chat wheel sounds.
Okay, jump in, KP. Is he singing now?
He might be. He's got 40 seconds to do so.
Top lane, though, they might be singing a bit better if they get No-Tail here, but he tries to roar himself out from that, but it's not going to happen. He'll settle for buying the Radiance recipe, but still has to work towards the relic.
That is not what you want to see from your lone druid. Already not farming particularly amazingly well, but these deaths kind of hurt him.
And now this is going to lead to a tier 1 takedown. More money for Newbee as they push up from a 2 to 3K net worth advantage, I'd imagine. But look at this, maybe an opportunity onto the mid lane. Kako with that new Blink Dagger, crossing right under the nose of S4. But S4 actually heads to the top lane, into the last second of that tier 1. Rushes on in to get a hold of Moogie, but Moogie will just shapeshift and run out the other direction. But Jerix is over here, waiting on the other side. But, oh, look at that. They're going to TP out before they even head over.
Yep. Back at mid, KP has Dream Coil, but doesn't look like he'll find any kind of initiation. No posturing right now, but Newbee, the ones with the Aegis, perhaps the ones who can be more aggressive. The Orchid Quap poses a threat to kill almost anyone who does reveal themselves.
Oh man, No-Tail spotted again. That's what I meant. When he uses this Blink Dagger, they can continue to just stalk No-Tail, slow him down from getting any sort of Radiance. Dishes out the Savage Roar, trying to save the bear, but Newbee want that money. Not going to get it. All this happens, there is a split pressure coming in from OG. That top lane S4 push could force Newbee back a bit.
Kind of interesting, we're seeing this Mask of Madness Lone Druid build more preferred over the Midas, at least at this tournament, and this feels like one of those games where the Midas would have been better. There's not a lot of room for No-Tail to farm. He's getting ganked a lot, and the Midas would have helped him finish that Radiance more so than the Mask of Madness does. The Mask of Madness is better than the Midas when you're ahead, you're pressuring lanes, you're fighting a bit more, you're pushing towers, but this has been a game where No-Tail has not had that kind of space or room to really fight at all.
Oh my god, this ward on this high ground. So many setups happening there for Newbee. They get a hold of Ana. He tries to make a run for it, but the coil latches him down in his place. But the siege continues for OG in this top lane, now pushing into the high ground. No-Tail, TP out.
As I said, Midas may be in consideration. That Mask of Madness is some serious work. Alright, I'm with No-Tail. Stick with the Mask of Madness. It's good.
I've seen a lot of druids get that, just like the early attack speed, some farm speed, a threat in lane, and then just kind of save up afterwards instead of getting the Midas. And then it does give you, this is a smaller part, but it does give the bear a little bit of self-sustain. If you're hitting creeps most of the time, like getting some lifesteal to help you to be able to keep the bear, not have to send him back, there is some value to be had in that as well. But it's just a very cheap and cost-effective item, and you can build it entirely from the side shop as well, which is nice.
You get up to 500 movement speed with the Mask of Madness plus Rapid too, so your bear often getting ganked, well, it's pretty hard to gank when you have got 500 movement speed.
Yeah, and you don't care too much. You can use it almost indiscriminately. You don't care too much about the silence factor on it, except for possibly the Savage Roar.
Smoke move towards the top lane here. Jerix might be the one to end up, unfortunately, tanking this gank, but if anyone had to, I guess Rubik's your best shot. Does move in and steal the Blink. And he uses it to get away. Try to move out, go for a TP, but they found someone else. They found Ana. They try to rush in for him, but he gets the help of his Stampede. They continue to chase, and they will be rewarded for it. A coil again will help trap him down, and then Fly, 2 punches, and he's out. Moogie takes down the Krav Maga Master like it's nothing.
Yeah, this is it. They basically flipped the switch like maybe like 6 or 7 minutes ago. It was around when they took that first Roshan where it's like, they don't have Radiance, let's fight. The second that Radiance comes online, OG get a lot stronger. We need to increase our lead. And now, even when that Radiance comes, it's going to be like a 25, 26-minute Radiance, a lot later than you typically expect to see it. And the end result is not just that, oh, we've kind of got this big farm lead, but it's also that this Radiance is not that scary because you've got all these items, you've got this big advantage. You're actually able to fight into the Radiance now because of how the last kind of 5-10 minutes have played out.
Look at this rotation coming in from OG. Might be unsuspected. A move in from SCCC as Jarek still holds that Blink Dagger, but the burst doesn't seem to be there.
Would have been a fantastic kill if they could have got that one, but SCC will live to see another day and has a BKB now, as does the Lycan. Multiple BKBs on this team.
That they just might have too much, too fast for OG. Yep. I mean, is there something there behind that for OG to try to fall back on? I'm talking pushing this further later, some point where the Invoker could swell up, or the Lone Druid to fully pass where this Lycan can go.
Well, that's where you saw the importance of the taking early towers. Like a couple times they wanted to, when they had the wards up, to kind of quickly deathfall and take down those towers. That restricts where Newbee can start these kind of rolling ganks from. Like they've been playing at a very impressively fast and aggressive pace where they're kind of just running at you, and then if they have to heal or if you force them back, you can make them start deeper and deeper in their base. But they were unable to take any towers after that that top tier 2, and so Newbee did a nice job of defending that and then just continuing to just rally from those and just keep running at OG.
Oh, Kaka TP's into the shrine at what could have been the worst time ever, but he is got the heads up to just quickly blink out from the trouble, and OG's smoke gank is going to come up short. But now they rotate all the way over to go for KP, who just threw an orb in the lane. Blinks up in. Jarex chases him with his own blink. They've spotted him. There's the Stampede. They want to get this little fairy. Looks like they'll be able to. All right, good pick. OG just scrapping for whatever they can here. A pick in this lane plus pushing it forward will just reward them more time.
Yeah, they're not all that far behind, all things considered, with how the recent fights have gone. It's 7k gold lead, roughly. A lot of that is actually the support gold, more than the actual cores. OG's cores are kind of at a decent place.
Nice Burrow stolen from Jarex. Kaka just narrowly missing that ganking opportunity. Jarex tries to hide within the trees, but of course the birds are going to fly over and just blast him down. Good attempt, but the rest of OG still continue to hide within the trees up north. They want to all stay in the lane. Maybe either to cut it or get a special jump.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, SCC will TP out. Oh, that would have been a great kill.
Birds are close. Will they be spotted?
Will they spot Faith instead?
Oh, yes, they will. Hello, Birdman. Sheep them up, and that's the end of Bird Person. Oh, here we go, though. SCCC and Kaka want revenge. Can they get it? Fly's looking to run out from trouble with the back end of that Ghost Scepter here. BKB's popped, moving in for Ana. He's able to help zone them back.
Okay, BKB down, so SCC doesn't achieve all too much. And OG may feel like they can kind of press forward a bit here. They are grouped up as 5 up here, so...
There's no Lycan, and Lycan doesn't have a TP in this bottom lane. Not at the moment, at least.
Will this be Invoker TPing down there? So it looks like OG will back off retreat. You're not really going to be threatening high ground when your opponents are 7k ahead and you're kind of at this, not weak point of OGs, but definitely they're not there. They don't have Stampede, they don't really have all that many items on some of their cores, like the Lone Druid's just got the Radiance going.
Agnum's also coming together here for S4. Could be a really nice pickup as they drop the coil and begin to burst things out. If he's not silenced and able to get that ulti off, they could shrug a lot of that damage. Always just makes me giggle at the fact that Agnum's had started at 90% damage reduction when it first came out. Frog, what were you thinking?
Yeah, it was something.
40% now.
Yeah, it was 90, but it was something like 75, 80. Ridiculous.
80 for sure. Maybe 90 is going a bit over.
It had some other stuff going on. I think it did even more damage back then too. It had a shorter cooldown. It was, I think it was like the highest win rate pub hero like that Dota buff has ever seen. It was something like 68% win rate or something in pubs. I don't know. It was crazy.
Here comes
the clipping through terrain is nice too. That was actually something a point express. I expected that to be in the professional scene a little bit sooner than it was, because it took a few patches really before people started playing Centaur, or like appreciating kind of the Ags on it.
Top lane, they've gone in. Anna,
We're missing all the action here, but we catch the back end of it as CCC will blast down Ana with that Sonic Wave. Godlike Strike going to be acquired, and then the simple right click will earn Mugi the Jarek's takedown.
Yeah, KP just got caught bottom, trying to do what he was doing earlier. Annoying split push, creep skipping, all that nasty stuff, but gets caught by like 2 or 3 heroes using a Stampede, but the second Newbee see him getting caught, they charge in top. They know, okay, OG's got multiple heroes bottom, we are incredibly safe up top, let's find kills, and then with the kills they secure themselves another Roche, this time Cheese as well as Aegis.
I want to point out a nice play there by Kaka. He actually force-staffed the Visage Bird to be able to get in range for the drop and stop. So, nice play there.
Sick, yeah, I like it.
And there's your Aegis, acquired and in the pocket of the Queen of Pain. Newbee. I imagine they're going to be looking to take it to OG sooner than later, or do you think they're pretty much in coasting mode at this point?
They've kind of got enough control of this game that they don't have to close it out early. I think they would have struggled in the mid to late game if this Lone Druid had a better time, if he was actually one of the most farmed heroes, had a better Radiance timing. He accelerates his farm from there and suddenly can get out of control in a team fight, but that hasn't happened. Oh, silence up top.
Yeah, there's the follow-up play. Can Ana somehow find a way out of this one? The birds catch him. Stunning it on in. There's a Soul Assumption. And it's going to be SCCC who picks up the last hit. He is still beyond godlike 10-1-7.
This guy, every time I see him play Quap, he's just securing every kill. And that's kind of what Quaps do, these, regardless of who it is. But I feel like SCC more than most Quap players is like, I'm saving my Scream until it's definitely getting the last hit on this kill.
He had a ridiculous showing of Queen of Pain during that last Star Ladder in China. I specifically remember him having a lot of very impressive Queen of Pain performances there. It seems like the trend continues.
Yep. Yeah, dating back to even like last year, or initially, well, the last MDL was their first tournament together as this new team. They actually ended up playing EG in the finals. That was like kind of the Invoker show that SCCC put on. But after that, I would say around turn of the year as well, the Queen of Pain was just a very successful hero for them. So through multiple patches.
Newbee breached down that tier 2 in the mid lane, and do not push further than that. Jarek's has been dancing around with Kaka quite a bit, but finally SCC steps in and will claim yet another kill.
SCC, level 22, AC. Next up is going to be the Mjolnir. He's going to be that frontline tank raid boss once he hits that level 25 spell Lifesteal to go with that Mjolnir. Going to become very tough to deal with.
We see Ana in the top lane continuing to do as he's been, just flash farming it out while pushing out the lane as best he can, preventing Newbee from closing this out sooner in hopes of scaling into the later game. It's very tough though. And he's building up into a Lincoln Sphere. That could help a bit, but here we go again. Ooh, nice dodge of the coil though. They anticipate that he was going to be heading up further north, but they did guess incorrectly, and Ana will be able to live this time.
Blinked away just in time, and S4, while that's going on, using that space to get some damage on the bottom tier 2. OG just trying to stabilize this game, but it's still a big gold deficit they're playing against. Even if they're avoiding being killed, getting some farms, but pushing, it doesn't really feel like they are catching up at this very moment.
Ooh, back into that one. Good setup right there from S4 with the Sunstrike coming in. Ana will be able to get the finish.
Nicely played, finding these quick hoof stomps, and these kills kind of add up. Ana's still remaining a very high level of farm. He's hitting level 20 now. The late game Invoker is definitely still a threat to Newbee's draft.
So what are Newbee going to be waiting on at this moment here? They have this Aegis. They have a little bit of time to work with it right now. But, you know, they seem to be kind of up in arms with OG, whether it's finding these little picks or chasing bears or dealing with split-pushing centaurs. I mean,
they're just farming for now, trying to see if there's... I mean, they've got the Aegis Wondering what the kind of big item might be. Quap level 25 Mjolnir. It feels like they just want to play for the late game. Like, this Lone Druid is such a non-factor right now, and it feels like he's going to continue to be a non-factor. I think Newbee are just like, well, let's just keep farming. Lycan's going to get more farmed. He's actually going to be able to fight despite all these kiting heroes and disables because he's got this BKB, and he's going to have lockdown from an Abyssal soon, so actually feels like Newbee are fine going kind of more into the late game if they want to.
Well, unless they do get a good catch opportunity, they come as a team to smoke, with the exception of KP, down through this lane, but as you can see, it's a bit of a chase here, as No-Tail is cutting it with the Bear and Radiance.
5 OG heroes camping the high ground, Bear split pushing top, then gets recalled in. Pesky stuff. They knew what was going on. They saw the puck bottom, but this has always been the story of this game. KP bottom alone, has boots of travel. If a fight breaks out, he TP's in. I think OG's best plan is to keep split pushing the top and mid lane and keep looking for these kills on KP.
Lots of cross-country running for both these teams.
They're
so
camping for KP. Jarek's is going to be like, all right, I'll bait, guys. But S4 is ready with that blink stun.
But will KP take the bait?
There's a Radiant Ward. If KP moves any further to the left, he will get spotted.
But Ana rolls in through the lane, and they look to step on back instead.
Close, but no cigar.
Yep. But maybe Jarek's now will be just possibly jumped on, though.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Whoa, hello there.
Don't think KP can solo kill him. Or
Can dance
he?
around with him, though, lock him in place while the rest of the team rotates over. But hey, look at that. Stole coil and leave. Thank you.
Not too shabby.
I'll just take that with me to the next fight. Thank you so much, KP.
But yeah, they kind of, and they don't totally just let the 8-6 expire. They smoke towards the end of it, but it does feel like there wasn't like serious intent from Newbee to force a 5v5 fight or go for a high ground push. They were content to just continue farming. The beauty of this, like some of their heroes, like 5-position Visage is actually scaling incredibly well. Visage has more net worth than Puck does. This is one of the great things about this hero. It does a lot with little farm, just with the early levels, but then if the game pace slows down, you maintain farm and scale into the late game with items. So Newbee's draft really running kind of like a 4-core lineup. Even the Sand King's going to have some high impact and some good farm late game, whereas OG supports are just dirt poor.
Yeah, Visage got off to a good start, and he's continued to pick up items since then. And this also gives them a kind of a mode of siege as well, as you mentioned, the synergy with the Lycan Howl too. And then the Queen of Pain, just as we see them going top up here.
S4 was able to get off the Stampede and pop the pipe now. Ana makes his TP out, but S4 gets bashed, gets beaten, bloodied.
Yeah. I was set up by a Lycan Wolf scouting. But every time I see these wolves on the map, they're always like moving out alone somewhere on the map. As soon as they find a hero, he just patrols that hero and is finding the and setting up these kills for his team.
Oh, Fly.
Yappy.
Hiding under his own ward, but there's a ward there as well. What was that, Yappy?
I don't know. One of the observers or
Dire Dude.
Yeah, isn't that the
Dire Dude?
Yeah,
the artist. What are you doing?
Dire Dude.
Yeah, he's great artist. I think he's casting on Mineski TV for this one as well. So shout out to AJ. The Queen of Pain, also with like the great start that she's had and like all the kills that she's finished, is also incredibly farmed at this point. Yeah. And very closing in on the Mjolnir, and that does change things a little bit. Instead of the Queen of Pain that's struggling to make the transition to right click, or she's fully there. Like she's a right clicking presence right now. So
I'd back this Quap in a 1v1 versus the Lone Druid at this point in terms of like who's going to dish out more damage and win that carry battle.
Yeah, and I wondered if Anna was going to go for Yules earlier. He only just now got his Lincoln, so finally he's not as easily susceptible to the Orchid type of pickoff. But it took him a long time to get an item that would protect him from that, and he died a lot because of that.
Yep. Perhaps soon will be the time to go for that high ground push. Aegis and Cheese number 3. You mentioned the familiars with Howl as a sieging tool. That may be something that Newbee just uses the backbone for the push, but definitely showing a lot of respect towards the OG high ground defense. The Invoker and what he can do. The Centaur is kind of an annoying hero as well at this stage.
OG would need to survive quite a few tests of pressure coming in from Newbee if they're hoping to push this into a later game. But they're already beginning to, comfortably move outside their base and head towards that Roche pit area. Some strikes already being sent inside that pit, but this is going to be a long timer.
Oh yeah. This feels like this lone druid keeps picking up an item every 5-6 minutes. Oh, Centaur.
Yeah, he's taking up a lot. Finally commits to the stampede. Ooh, nice coil. The stolen coil that was dropped onto their head, but BKBs are going to be popped, and SCCC heads into the high ground to spread out that damage. They quickly take out Fly, and now the chase is on for No Tail. They slowly claw at the bear and will be able to bring him down. Puts him into hibernation, and now up and above, a coil. This one for the side of Newbee gets good snap connection onto Ana. A long, long stun. Because that's an Agnum's coil, by the way.
Neither has buyback. It's kind of GG. They're going to lose 2 lanes of racks. And while OG may not tap out and may play 2 racks down, it does feel like that is kind of the end of their real hopes to win this game. This lone druid is miles behind at this point.
Newbee just feeling themselves right now, as you can see. Just rolling right over and through OG.
Yep. Get the top lane. They're already in the mid. Easy.
I do not think OG will be able to defend. Could be already talking about the next hurrah here. Yeah, this is 40 seconds of no Invoker, no Tail. We'll be back in 10, but you're coming back into a scrapyard of a home. S4 is waiting in the trees, though. It looks like this could be the one only hurrah. Jarix is like, I'll hit him with a Fade Bolt and bait something. Then S4 moves in. He gets off a cool-looking stun, pops the ulti, runs around in a few circles with a coil on his back. They hit him with everything they got, including the Epicenter dance floor, and that's when No Tail returns. Now he decides to run in, and he's looking to get a bear hug. We'll actually get some a root onto Faith here. He's trying to beat him down. Can I just get one little kill, please? No, you cannot, Mr. Bear. They'll run back at him with a Sonic Wave. They'll finish him off yet again, and Newbee will be permitted to pick up the Megas.
At the GG, as the voice lines would say. But OG will clean up some familiars, down Mega Creeps here. We'll play this one out.
Woo! Kaka with 20 life. Gets out by just by the tail of his little scorpion body. All right, OG, look what you got yourself into now. Now you have Megas.
I mean, Newbee made it look easy. It felt like they could have maybe gone for that fight 5-10 minutes ago, but at the same time, they knew they were getting stronger, and every item Lone Druid picked up, his bear's actually gone pretty far. It had an AC, then it got Basher. It just kept getting all these new items, but at no point did it ever really feel like, oh, he's got this item, now he can fight. It was always like, oh, he's got this item, now he needs a few more. And this Lone Druid, maybe something we kind of just didn't, I guess, overestimate is his ability to scale. He played so much from behind that he never really was able to catch up, and because of that, he can't really have an impact on the game since he doesn't really want to go play into the late game.
Jump, stun onto Kaka. Ana also rolls in, but SCCC is also there with KP, and he is dishing out everything he can, using the back end of this Arcane Rune to try to make it work. The back end of his BKB is going to expire, though. He gets hit with the coil, and the rest of Newbee come in to dance a bit. Fly walks in, falls on his face, and the GG's going to get called. Newbee, do it! Game number 1 will belong to them. SCCC, come on. Oh my god, what was the score at the end of that? 16-1 and 14 Queen of Pain against OG. That is impressive for the firefighter. Former Army fireman. Whatever you want to call him there, Jack.
Yeah, put out the Invoker's fires right there.
There you go, Jack. Thank you. Come on.
Yeah, I like the game plan from Newbee, not just in terms of taking some of the heroes, but just the overall pace of this game. Like Newbee can get a little bit bogged down, a little bit methodical and predictable sometimes, but this game, I felt they introduced that kind of chaos that they got numbers to fights very quickly. A lot of mobility on their cores, and like extending all 3 of their cores were very mobile in this case, and they're able to get to fights quickly. They never really gave OG a chance to kind of position themselves. And then the one time that OG got a chance to turn things back, maybe set up and deathball a little bit, take some towers, there was the cutting from KP, so they didn't allow those objectives to be taken either. So Newbee kind of hit those points that we're talking about, the check marks we gave them for early game, for wanting to snowball out of the lanes. I feel like they were able to successfully do that.
I feel like, yeah, playing against this lone druid is how big of a lead can you amount before that Radiance comes online. If that Radiance comes online and you're not ahead and OG can fight, you're in trouble. When it came online, OG were really far behind playing on the back foot, and that's where that lone druid can't have an impact on the game.
All right, gentlemen, with that, we'll cut to a break. When we return, more of Beyond the Summit's coverage of MDL. We'll see if OG survive or if Newbee will take a Game 2 win and move into the next round. We'll see you soon.